Good morning. I'm going to put some music on here. Hi, Monica. Okay, let me bring Elizabeth on. Hi, are you on, Elizabeth?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Let me know how close I am to the camera, because I know last time I was like, hello. Is that better?
Yeah, you're good there.
Right about here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me turn the music down here a little bit. How's the music sound?
It's good.
Okay.
So, how's your day? How's everyone's day going? So far,
Very
so
good.
good.
Very good. I had very good night's sleep.
That's good. Actually, I did too. I had a pretty good sleep last night.
Good.
That's good, considering I don't have good sleeps usually. So, I'm usually up like all night.
Is that a normal thing for you to be up all night?
Yeah, I think so. I think that like having kids just made me like have to be, I felt like I had to like always be the one to wake up, because if something happened, they would probably never wake up, because they're like the heaviest sleepers in the world. So I think it like started whenever they were young, and then it was just like every little noise like woke me up. I have to have like pitch black. I have to have like, usually I have my headphones in, but I'll have like pitch black, and then my fiance's the opposite, where he needs to have something on to be asleep.
That must work out well.
Yeah. So I'm used to it though, so it's not too bad. I feel like if I probably got a full 8 hours of sleep, I would be like more tired, because my body's not used to it, right?
Yeah, especially if you've been doing it for so long, because your boys are what, teenagers, right?
Yeah, the one's gonna be 16 and the other one's gonna be 12 in March. So
yeah. So your body's just works
used
that way.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah, Monica says she just started her staycation. Oh, that's awesome. I saw you got a massage yesterday and you have heat now. So you're living life.
Ooh, massage. That sounds nice.
Yeah. Well, it's 10. Should we wait a few minutes?
Yeah, we'll wait a few minutes, and then we can go on with getting started there.
I did get out. I felt called to get my chakra cards out today. Okay. So if we have time at the end, maybe I'll pull a card for each person.
Okay, cool. I actually pulled a card. It's funny how you said that, because I felt called to pull a card for the group. And I was going to wait till later, but I was like, it makes sense. So I pulled number 7, and it's the goddess of creation. So we're talking about the sacral chakra, creativity, energy. So I thought that was really neat. So I was like, it just kind of, and it's the sacral is like the water, it's the goddess energy. So I thought that was really neat that came out today. So, and we're talking about the chakras, number 7, like all 7 chakras. So
very cool connection there. Yeah. And I actually had another connection last night too. So you and I were talking a few days ago. Remember I told you I got sick?
Yeah.
That was actually because I was moving some energy in my body. Okay. And I had really felt like that was the case. And so I'm taking this quantum empathy therapy technique class, and they said, it's normal. Hi, Joe. Hugs to you. They said it's normal in the first couple of weeks to, feel kind of sick, or, things physically could be happening in your body, especially if you're doing this lower chakra work.
Okay.
So, I'm not saying that's going to happen for people here because this is a different type of level class that I'm doing. But you know, you could experience some light physical symptoms if you're really in tune with yourself. So sometimes you won't even notice.
100%, yeah, for sure. And that makes a lot of sense too, because like I was working, well, because we had both commented that yeah, we weren't feeling good this week, and I've been working on the root chakra and that frequency, so you know that could definitely be something that's coming through as well. Yeah, so I had some digestive issues.
Yep, I would call mine that too. Well, I imagine we could probably get started if you want to.
Okay, I'm just going to sage and kind of clear the area and the space. So I'm just going to, with the power of the sage, we cleanse our minds, bodies, and souls. And our intentions, set your intention. If your intention is to learn or, you know, just to gather information, you know, be present to the listening. So set your intentions of what you'd like to get through today. And, you know, we're all here for a reason. So there's obviously, you know, we all have a connection, and we're going through this together and learning. And my intention is that I'll be able to teach you something, and you can take that away in practical, you know, your life lessons and everything like that. So
let me know when you're done with that, since I can't see you, and I'll ring
I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, so this is intended to invite spirit into our session as well. So we clear the space, and now we do the inviting for our little Tinkerbells to join us.
So I figured that just in case people are watching this video and they didn't catch the first one, I was kind of just going to go quickly over some points that we made within the first video, just to give people a background in case they didn't watch that one. So we're just going to repeat kind of a little bit what we said there. So in the first meeting, we talked about energy and how everything is energy vibrating at certain frequencies, including yourself. So your light, which is energy, in human form, which is matter, so human. So energy cannot be created or destroyed. Rather, it can be transformed or transferred from one form to another. The energy expanding and contracting, that's what creates our vibration. We also are talking about the chakras, and chakras are wheels of multi-dimensional galaxies of energy along your spine, which also is referred to as Kundalini. The chakra functions are to transmit and receive a field of frequency. My cat is like just going crazy on me now. He's a kitten, so he's a little bit rambunctious, but so that's why it's important to open our chakras and increase the circulation of energy flow. The more energy that's flowing, the healthier we are. The chakras are dynamic wheels of light and the power generations of our electromagnetic auric field. So when a new frequency is absorbed into the aura, the information that it contains is absorbed within the light body, and it will hold information that will bring many things to the surface, different kinds of experiences such as karmic lessons, issues of self-mastery, other lifetimes. You could even be seeing deceased relatives, emotional and spiritual conflict resolution, things like that. And the higher you tune your electromagnetic frequency, the bigger, brighter your vibration. And then we're also dealing with the solfeggio frequencies. So those are a set of healing tones that date back centuries and create energy and vibration that reverberate all the way down to our molecular structure of our DNA. Our bodies are made up of 60% water and our blood plasma around 90%. When the water is exposed to low frequency sounds, the vibrations cause the water molecules to align in a more stable and structured pattern. So solfeggio frequencies range from 174 to 963 hertz and represent the smallest unit of frequencies. Studies have shown that sound vibrations can influence brainwave patterns, leading to deep relaxation or heightened consciousness. So we covered the root one, last one. So that was, again, the frequency of 396, and which was UT, at. That was the tone. So we're going to move on to the sacral chakra, which is what we're going to focus on today. And that one is the frequency 417, and it is Re, R-E. So the color of the sacral chakra is orange, and it's connected to our emotional body. The water, the element it's connected to is water, and connects to the kidneys, the bladder, and our reproductive organs. The tone 417 Re is designed to facilitate change by helping to clear destructive influences and cleanse traumatic experiences by recalibrating on a cellular level at the same time as re-energizing the cells. It is the frequency of change and renewal. It is deeply transformative with an ability to heal the listener from trauma and enable them to cope with negative thought patterns. The 417 hertz solfeggio frequency helps to remove energy blockages and restore natural flow and alignment. So our sacral chakra is connected to our emotions, our sexuality, our ability to flow in life, pleasure, creativity, desires, and more. When we experience a blocked sacral, we can experience lack of inspiration, low sex drive, loneliness, isolation, and even addiction. The second chakra is also called the pain body. It is related to the emotional and feeling aspects of life experiences. Our senses of abundance and well-being are also connected to the chakra. So most traumas experienced that have not been resolved or released will create an energetic blockage that lodges itself in this area. It tends to be the most difficult energy body and chakra for the human being to master due to the duality we have on Earth. So I would have to say that probably my sacral is probably the hardest one that I find to work with. I find there's a little bit of an easy way to figure out what chakras need a little bit more work. It's the ones that I find you're least attracted to. And for some reason, I am least attracted to the sacral and doing sacral work.
Okay, probably
so I find that's a good way to kind of, and then, that's a good way where that you kind of, that's somewhere where you're a little bit stuck maybe. It's just like, if that's one that you don't really like working with, or you don't really, if you're not really attracted to. So the second chakra is also linked to our subconscious and instinctual mind. So our instincts are like the way we react without thinking, like, for example, like mothering instincts. And combined with the lower chakras, it also serves as the function of the ego. It is also connected to lower emotions such as greed and revenge, so our lower ego emotions. The instinctual layer of the ego for many people remains unconscious mind, as many people don't pay attention to their instinctual drive or addictions. So most people who are, have addictions, they don't really pay attention to like why they have the addictions, smoking, or, even anything like that. We don't really pay attention to our instincts either. So the shadow emotion of the sacral is guilt, which causes denial. Denial helps shield us from difficult emotions, such as guilt and others. And it's a tricky wound to work with because when we're in denial, we're unaware and we are actually refusing to acknowledge something that we don't want to look at. So a person in denial is hiding the truth, so even from themselves. So it becomes kind of a blind spot for a lot of people because it's something that we don't really want to look at, which makes a lot of sense with the sacral area. The energy of the sacral stores desires, feelings, and emotions. So if we live in a society that does not encourage us to be ourselves, to live and express our emotions, so from a very, very early age, we have to repress our emotions and our desires. The sacral is further developed around 7 to 14 years of age. So that's a very pivotal moment for us. So if we were told not to cry, not to express ourselves publicly, to be ashamed of our own sexuality, This all suppresses that energy and remains stuck in the chakra and causes imbalances. So some people exist and cut off from their feelings, and they have a really hard time identifying their feelings in moment to moment. This is where unresolved pain memories will manifest as instinctual drives within the person's ego. It collects many different levels of emotional trauma and pain, and it buries it in the unconscious areas of the body and in the mind centers, where it can even be passed genetically. So we're actually burying trauma that is actually passed down.
Wow.
So this is what they call generational trauma.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense, actually, because I was just thinking when you're saying that, like 7 to 14 is like such an impactful age, you know, and you've just come out of that baby to, 7-year-old where, you need to form your family bonds, right? So if you're not forming over that, 15-year period in a healthy way, hello, this is why we all need love and hugs and attention and therapy.
So a lot of it has to do primarily because at 7 to 14 year age, it is primarily your family, your grouping. And also, the things that society put on us, like we have to look a certain way, we have to be a certain weight, all that kind of stuff really affects this kind of area. So second chakra issues and imbalances may include some of the following patterns. So like our relationships to others, our families, our friends, our lovers, our partners, boundaries in our personal relationships. So if you have a hard time setting boundaries, chakra using the sacral, that can be part of the sacral is your boundaries in your relationships. So our relationship to our inner child. Are we a loving parent to our inner child? Are we a loving parent to our own children? So there's a big relationship with our inner child and our sacral as well. So, so the body's desires and instinctual processes like addiction and reactionary emotions, our creative energy flow, are we living in our true passion and purpose? So a lot of female empowerment as well with the sacral. So it is the goddess energy. It's the goddess energy within. And our reproductive beliefs. So it's also connected to our reproductive glands and organs. So our reproductive belief could be, oh, well, I'm never going to get pregnant, or, you can only, have sex when you're married or something like that. So that it's connected to our beliefs. When we begin to work with our sacral, we'll have to deal with our suppressed emotions and feelings of guilt and shame. So we'll also have to face and accept our flaws and understand they contribute to who we really are. And they actually help us to be whole. It is only when we reach this understanding that we'll find relief. So some of the areas that we're clearing are the most painful aspects of separation. So as we know, it's depending on how far along you are in your journey, we are fragments of source. So we're all fragments of source energy, but there's certain things that cause separation. So these feelings of unworthiness, shame, guilt, lack of trust, self-doubt, betrayal, abandonment, rage, fear, entrapment, or enslavement. These are all some of those really painful aspects of separation that we're trying to clear when we're working with the sacral chakra. So some signs of an underactive sacral chakra could include physical symptoms such as, stiffness, lower back, hip problems, menstrual problems for women, impotence, lack of sensation, or you could have deadened senses. And some emotional symptoms from underactive chakra could be emotionally numb, you could be disconnected, you could have a fear of change, lack of, desire, passion, and a fear of intimacy. The signs of an overactive sacral, and this one I thought was interesting. So a major sign of the sacral chakra that is imbalanced is if you suffer from anxiety. So, but if you are an empath, you're really susceptible to anxiety because you tune into other people's feelings as well. So that's one thing. It's very important if you are an empath to do sacral work, because you'll be able to identify if the feeling is yours or not. So you might also experience overreactions. You might be overly sensitive, clinginess, addictive behavior, unhealthy relationships with sex. You could be very aggressive or lost in fantasies. So to balance the sacral chakra, we use meditation, yoga, the 417 hertz frequency in our daily lives. When we can sit comfortably with our eyes closed and focus on our breath while listening to this music, as we focus, we can imagine the sound and the tone permeating throughout our body, healing and transforming us from the inside out. We can also chant the 417 mantra, which is Re, or even just repeating that in your head. So if you're all of a sudden getting maybe you find you're having one of these reactions, very over emotional, or you're becoming a little bit aggressive or something, chanting that mantra even in your head, Re, is still chanting that tone. So it's still doing something within your body. So you can chant this during.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, because if you're in a time crunch, maybe you're having an anxiety attack, in that moment you can just drop into that. Yeah,
for sure. We can also choose foods that are in alignment with the sacral. So that's a good way to help both your physical body and your energetic body. So such as oranges, pumpkins, mangoes, carrots, even just looking at the color orange, sitting there visually looking at it for 5 minutes, that's also going to help us connect to that, that energetic of it. So, and also like journaling, getting your feelings out on paper is going to really help us reconnect with our emotions. Things such as like dance, art, helping us tap into our creative side, that can also help. So when we balance our sacral chakra, we can allow the emotions to ease through us without resistance. You may also be able to more easily identify your ego desires versus your soul's desires. So you may even start to have an increased self-awareness of your triggers, and you might even start reigniting your passion, your creativity, and your joy in life. So the second chakra is also connected to the second dimension. So this expands upon the root, which is the first one. The root is the first chakra, that's our survival. And this then, so first we're surviving, we have our earth energies, right? And now we're starting to build up. So we're including our emotional experiences now. So this dimension involves fluidity, pleasure, and the beginnings of relational consciousness. And relational consciousness is about showing up fully in our connections. So it's the awareness that every interaction, whether with a partner, a colleague, or a stranger, has the potential to deepen trust, spark growth, or foster collaboration. So this is the dimension where we interact with also elements, the elemental beings, minerals, crystals, vitamins, nature, animals. So when you start kind of tapping into that, your sacral chakra, you might be seeing or getting, and this is just to kind of be aware, maybe, you might be getting ads, pop up on your phone for natural vitamin that your body is needing. You might be starting to get called to work with crystals more. You might be starting to get called to go outside and go for a walk in nature. So, you might be having more interactions with animals, seeing a specific type of animal. That could be, your spirit, your animal guide coming through. So that's kind of all in the second dimension where that stuff happens. So those are just things to watch out for. So that is what I had for the sacral chakra. So it's important to balance our sacral chakra because it's really about having our joy, our pleasure in life. And that's something that we always want to have, right? So we always want to be able to, say that we are in having, following our passions, our purpose, and it helps connect us to our creativity, which can also help our passions and our purpose. So.
Yeah, that's lovely. So you probably saw me. Thank you. You probably saw me mixing the cards here, and I was thinking, let me pull some cards like collectively, and then maybe we'll do meditation and then come back and pull some more, you know, for the
Awesome.
people who are still watching.
Sounds
So,
good.
Divine Masculine came up,
Okay, perfect.
number 17. And again, we've got that Metatron's kind of cube thing, you know, star going on. That's been a common symbol that's been coming up. And it says facilitating our capacity to transform our dreams into form.
Perfect.
So, yeah. And then sensuality, which,
okay.
you know, we're talking about the sacral today. So those colors are beautiful.
Yes.
And that's number 36. And it says, reminding us that as spirits and human bodies, we are sensual beings experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. So, yeah, that's very cool how those came up as you were chatting.
So I made a connection with that as well. So as I said before, I pulled this card. This was number 7. I pulled this at the beginning before we came on. And so this is about the goddess energy. So this is what we're talking about in the sacral. But also, so your card, the masculine, that was number 17. That's number 8. And then your next card, sensuality, is number 9. So we're having a connection there with all the numbers. So it is important that we both have masculine and feminine qualities within our body. It's not just one or the other. So it is important to balance those. And that was just telling me that the masculine energy and the feminine energy are going to create that sensuality together.
Yeah.
So that was just something that I picked up on. That was really cool. So
yeah, that was cool. 7, 8, 9. I love the alignment.
So it's kind of going in order there. So it looks like, it's kind of building on that. It's, you know, it is not just about the feminine, the goddess, you know, the goddess energy. It is very closely linked with the goddess energy, but we also have to remember that masculine energy that we have to balance that.
But also, like root we did last week, and to me that reminds me of masculine energy.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. So they're building, you can start to see how the chakras are, you know, they work together and they build, you know, to make us a complete spiritual body in a physical body.
Puzzle pieces.
Yes.
We have to have them all working together to be fully balanced. So
yeah. That's kind of makes me think of a question, and I don't know the answer to this. So, you know, once all chakras are in alignment, I believe the answer is they don't necessarily stay in alignment. So you have to kind of like check in with yourself, you know, once a week or so, or if you start to notice these emotions that are coming up, go, oh, well, that's my sacral. I better, you know, do a little work on that, right?
So that's it. It's constantly going to be a balancing act. You know, that's what I personally feel. I don't know if, you know, there's other information out there that you may resonate with, which makes, you know, you might not have that balancing act. But I know for myself, it is about that, you know, you're always there's always one chakra that's going to affect the other chakra. And, you know, we're all coming in with all these energies coming in from the sun, from the earth. Everything's always affecting our vibration. So even, you know, something small, you know, such as, you know, someone telling you, you know, something at work happening that, you know, really pissed you off or something, you know, that's going to kind of throw something a little bit out of balance where we're going to have to go in again. And it's not that hard. We don't have to, you know, meditate every time to achieve balance. We don't have to, you know, we don't have to go through these elaborate processes every time to achieve balance. It's more about just, you know, getting to that root and just kind of grounding, letting the feeling come and pass. And it's not sitting there and dwelling on it and said, oh, well, I should have said this and I should have done that. And I can't believe this happened. And this person's doing this. It's just, okay, yes, I'm feeling frustrated. And it's like, okay, but now I'm going to let that go and I'm not going to dwell in that frequency of frustration.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Monica made a comment on a post, I think it was late yesterday or this morning, of, you know, the root chakra. And I think she had the idea that she had to work on it for like an hour a day. And so I said, no, you know, you have to go with your instincts, right? And your day and what flows for you. Like for me, I'm in a routine where I have a spiritual practice in the morning for about a half an hour. So I could fit it in there. I typically say bedtime for people because they're more relaxed and they need to quiet the mind. But you have to find what works for you. If you have 2 minutes one day, 20 minutes the next, whatever you feel called
Yeah.
to, that's beginning to help you listen more to your intuition too.
Yeah, and I find too, because I do most of mine at night too, when I'm in bed, and I find too that I do end up falling asleep a lot to a meditation that I'm listening to, and it's because that is like we have associated our bed with sleeping. So if you're trying to do meditations and you say, well, why do I keep falling asleep? And, I can't stay awake. Well, if you're sitting in your room or in your bed, your body and your mind automatically go to, okay, it's time to go to sleep. We're resting now.
Yeah.
So it does, sometimes it does matter where you are doing if you're doing your practices, especially too, if it's in your room and you're feeling, well, I keep falling asleep and I'm not getting anything out of it. It's just because your body is already associating, that with sleeping. So it's kind of just like maybe go out, and if you have another place to be able to do that. And it's not so much as you have to, sit there and meditate for, a certain amount of time. Yeah, even 5 minutes if you can. And a lot of people find meditating really hard, and it is, like, especially too if you're just getting into it. Even now, I struggle sometimes. You get the thoughts that race through and everything, and it's not about not having any thoughts or just blocking them out. It's about letting those thoughts come and then just letting them go and getting back to your meditation. Say, okay, thank you. I took the message. Okay, I'm going back into my meditation type of thing. So,
yeah.
And especially too, it's also, you can even just going outside in nature, being in the sun, that's going to help, boost your frequencies and your energy. So it's not like you have to every time go and try and do meditations. You can find other ways to connect with it.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because we meditate often in our routines and we don't even know we're doing it, such as doing the dishes, humming, listening to music, driving in the car. Even you mentioned that tone of just chanting that over and over again. Maybe you don't have time to meditate today, but you're driving to work and you have a 10-minute drive. While you're driving, just try to find ways to squeeze it in where you're not stressing yourself out about it, because it's not meant to stress. You don't want to force these changes. They need to come to you intuitively.
And and that's good. That's a good point. So, and it's if you feel called to work on it. If you're sitting there saying, oh, well, I got to meditate now, or, oh, I got to do this, my spiritual practice, and you're not really feeling it, like, don't do it. That's your body telling you, you need to just take a rest and just relax for a bit. And that's a lot about the sacral too, is about, just relaxing. And, because we have such a mentality that, I grew up with the belief that, like, time is money. So if you're not, and that's a belief that I inherited. So if I'm not productive, then, I don't feel good, type of thing. And I shouldn't feel like that. That's something that society has put on me to say, or your parents, or, your grandparents, or something like that. But relaxation is very important to revitalize our mind and our body and our soul. And it's something that we shouldn't feel guilty about.
Yes. And the more elevated you become spiritually, you realize that quiet time is essential for you to be able to receive your next
100%.
steps and your guidance. And I think the huge importance of that is just, that's why, because you see, all these people become so zen and calm, and, things that used to make them angry anymore. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It rolls off me. So the more practice you can give that quiet time, it's so healthy for your mind. And something I learned last night, which was huge in my class, was how we've been so mind-led for like over 500 years. And we're stressed out. It's caused anxiety, right? It's called all sorts of diseases and, immune system deficiencies because of that stress, where we're now leading into this heart-centered way of living, and realizing that that's the way to go, and the mind
Yeah.
will follow. So
Yeah.
it's an interesting transitional period that we're in, because I've always led with my heart, and I've always felt shamed about it. I've
Yeah.
always been, that's a belief, right, that I
Yeah.
was given of being too empathetic or too sensitive,
Yeah.
and leading with the heart. And it's funny that I'm stepping right into this this massive change that's happening, and I'm able to just kind of live my authentic self, and it feels so much more lighter living that way. You know, it takes a little adjusting,
Yeah.
right? But yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I was reading something last night, and it made a lot of sense. And it was saying, once you kind of start on this path, even though it is a really, really, it's hard. It is a hard path, once you start to notice like things like that, like, your reactions, your behaviors, your mind is constantly analyzing, why am I feeling like this? So sometimes it is a little bit hard, and you're like, oh, and every time you peel a layer back, you're going to be peeling back more. It's not just it's a lifelong process. It's not just, okay, we're done with that now. We're done with that forever. It's never going to come back up. No, it's going to peel back another layer. And people that come on the path and they start kind of doing this work on themselves, there isn't anybody that I've ever heard say, I wish I could go back to my old life.
Right.
I wish I could go back to not knowing any of this stuff, because even though it is hard work, it is so rewarding in the end to be able to, not have, someone criticize you and say, have that reaction of that, anger, or that, jealousy or whatever. And just being able to say, you know what, that's about you and it's not about me. And not care what people think about you. And that's what it ultimately is when someone's criticizing you and someone's saying, something to you, that's about them. And it's just a projection. It's not about you. And once you can come to that realization, it's a lot easier to take, any of those criticisms and not hold on to them and create that trauma within your body.
Janine has a question,
Yeah.
and I think I know the answer to this, but I'm gonna let you answer it. She says, when working on the chakra, do the chakras need to be in alignment first for energy to flow from root upwards?
So I would say kind of yes and no. So I think the root is important. The root is a very important one, and maybe important one to start with, because that is our foundation. That's our stability. That's going to kind of set the tone for how everything else filters up in our body. So if our root isn't stable, like our house, if we don't have a stable foundation, once we start building upon that, it kind of just will collapse. Yeah. So you don't have to start with balancing, all the chakras don't have to be in alignment to balance them. But I think the root is very important one to start with. And then you can go from there where you feel called. So if you kind of are having, mastering a little bit of the root, and you've been doing some root chakra work and you've been clearing that out a little bit, if you're getting called to next work with your throat, go to that one. It's up to you intuitively. You know your own body best out of anybody. So it's just, you can just go to whichever one you feel called to. But I would start probably a little bit more with the root, just because it is that stable foundation.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then some of them are very connected to other ones. Yes. So there was something we talked about last week where if you get your bottom three, the root, sacral, and solar in alignment, that helps all the upper ones, And then I think the heart is also connected to the sacral. So there's, we can go deeper into that as we do more sessions. But
yeah, they're all connected. Yeah, so the sacral and the heart are very connected because they deal with the emotions and past hurts and pain. So you may feel called to, after you work with your sacral, to work with your heart a little bit more, because those two are interconnected, but also to the two biggest creative energy centers are your throat and your sacral. So those ones are going to be for, different, if you're looking to work with maybe a project, or you're looking to public speak or something like that, working on your throat and having that creative energy is really going to help with that. I was going to say something else, but now I forget. Oh, and we were talking yesterday or last week when we were talking about the root chakra, because I said I have a harder time balancing my lower three chakras than I do my upper three. But I also, I'm kind of on the star seed path, and I don't know if anybody's ever kind of heard of that, but it's more of, seeded from the stars. So I have an easier connection to outer worlds, such as space, or, I don't know if anybody's heard of like Syrians or, Arcturians or anything like that. But I feel like I have a connection up kind of in space, as you can see, even like I have pictures of my past, space and the moon and everything like that. I've always been connected to that. So I feel like for me, my easier three to connect to are my three upper chakras. And it's hard for me to kind of do the earthly energy just because I have that kind of connection where it comes from already up in the sky type of thing. So that was just something that I noticed working with myself and just being on that path. It's a little bit harder for me to deal with the earthly energies than it is with the heavenly energies.
Yeah, that's interesting because everyone's going to be different.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too, like for the lower chakras, is that mainly a female thing? But I don't think so, because a lot of men, hold their emotions in and don't communicate.
Yes.
So it could relate. It just depends on your makeup, right? And for me, before I even realized I was on a spiritual journey, I had these like a heaviness in my chest for like 8 months. And I kept thinking I was having anxiety or, a heart attack or something. And the only way I was able to get relief, because I knew nothing about chakras or energy clearing, was I would go in my backyard and just lay in the grass and stare at the clouds. And I just felt like if I did that, I could breathe.
Yeah.
And as soon as I came back in the house, it was like the heaviness started again. So that may also, I'm telling you guys that because that may be a sign that some of you may be feeling, especially if you're very heart-centered. So for me, I definitely had to clear my heart first before I could work on, some of the other stuff that was going on.
Yeah, and I think that's probably for empaths as well. So, empaths are very heart-centered. It's very connected to nature, to your heart, to your heart chakra. So I think too, like if you identify as an empath or you think you're an empath, it's really going to affect your heart. And your heart is going to be probably, well, I'm going to say for me, being an empath, my heart is one of the hardest ones, and it has been the one I've had to work on the most, I feel. But also on that, everybody's different and everybody's unique. So you have a unique energy signature. So it's and that's going to define your levels of awakening and how that's going to happen for you. So it just goes with what you resonate with. If you resonate with it, then that's information for you. That's telling you something. I resonate with this because, that's telling you something. So if you don't resonate with it, then I would just take the information and leave it. Whatever you feel called to. And that's what I said. It is not a set path to say, okay, you got to work on this one first, and then you got to work on that one next, and then work on this one. You're unique. So, what your experience is going to be could be completely different from someone else's. And it could also be really close and similar to other people's, which that's going to be your resonation. That's that energy signature that we're bringing in.
Yeah. Are there any other questions before we do the meditation? I'm going to do the same meditation that we did last week with the tree, because Elizabeth and I talked about it, and we feel like that very much closely relates to the sacral as well as the root. So we'll go through that one more time, unless anybody has more questions. And then maybe at the end, we'll pull, a couple more cards.
I'm going to play the frequency. I don't know if it's going to be kind of choppy. It's off my laptop, but I guess it kind of translates different onto the the phone, but I don't know, can you hear that or no?
It's very subtle. That's good. You just turned it up a little bit.
There? Okay.
Okay, then I guess we'll begin the meditation then. Let me grab my script here. So I'm just going to ring the bell one more time because it's fun. The meditation will now begin. Makes me feel like, since I'm Libra, I think it makes me feel like I'm like the judge up on the... Okay. So let's take 3 deep breaths before we jump into the meditation. And definitely get in a relaxed space, whether you're sitting or you feel like you want to lay down, eyes open, closed eyes, whatever you're most comfortable with. We'll begin with 1 deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. So as we gather, set your intention for this meditation. It could simply be, I just want to be present. I just want to receive. Focusing on your sacral chakra at the base of your spine. Sorry. Let me redo that. Focusing on your root and sacral chakra. So the root is at the base of your spine and the sacral is in your uterus womb area. Picture your energy grounded and attached deep into the earth. Visualize you're descending deep down into the earthly layers of grass, soil, and rocks. You are beginning to transform and grow. You are beginning to rebirth yourself and become new again. Think about what no longer serves you. As you get more comfortable and feel yourself within your body, get ready for a journey through the vast woods. Settle in and come as you are. Take a few deep breaths, feeling it go through your nose and feeling your belly expand. Slowly exhale. Letting go of any tension or distraction, just breathe. Imagine that you are standing at the edge of a vast forest. Trees aplenty, pines and oaks and maple trees, tall and abundant, lush greens all around you and a bright blue sky. The gentle breeze is calm, and you can hear the birds chirping and see the butterflies swaying. This forest is a sacred place where transformation occurs, inviting you to leave behind everything that is not serving you. As you stand at the edge of this forest, take a moment to visualize an entryway. Passing through this gateway will take you to a place of deep restoration. With each breath, imagine stepping into the forest, allowing the cool, refreshing air to envelop you. Feeling the fresh air washing over you, it's cleansing your spirit and your energy. You can sense the energy of renewal all around you. Visualize yourself walking on a path. With each step, you are shedding the weight of your past. Feel your body filled with light as you surrender to the healing forest energy. You are now walking towards a large, majestic tree that stands tall and strong. This tree has an opening, a secret door. This door blends into the tree, and as you get closer, you can see a handle. As you reach for the handle, set the intention that this secret entrance is assisting you in shedding what no longer serves you. As you step inside, you prepare for a journey of discovery. You are now standing inside the tree. You see 3 other door openings. You choose door number 1. This is a scene of your life that you need to release and let go. Something that is no longer serving you. You walk through this door. 3, 2, 1. You step out into the scene and look around. You notice as everything starts to become a little bit more clear. You can see a few things that seem familiar and remind you of an experience or fear or limiting belief. You allow yourself to fully engage with this scene, to understand what it represents. And now you understand that it is time to let it go. Picture it dissolving and transforming into light. And when you feel ready, you step back into the tree, feeling lighter and more free. Inside the tree, you prepare for your next journey through door number 2. 3, 2, 1. You step into another scene. This scene symbolizes another layer of your old self. You observe keenly what it is trying to show you. What additional baggage are you holding on to? As you recognize it, you accept it, and you are ready to release it. You can again see everything dissolving and transforming into a beautiful, glowing light that ascends into the sky. Feeling lighter, you step back into the tree, carrying with you the insights and the reflection from this experience. Once again, you are inside the tree. You steady yourself for the final door, number 3. One last time. 3, 2, 1. Another scene appears. Here you look deeply into what is left to shed. Perhaps an unhelpful habit or a toxic relationship. Whatever it may be, you can see it clearly now. You embrace the clarity of this moment and visualize it being transformed into pure energy, allowing it to drift away. And now you get ready to step back into the tree, feeling a profound sense of relief, clarity, and lightness. As you return from this journey, you take a moment to reflect on what you have shed. You can feel the warmth of the earth beneath you again as you start walking out of the lush green forest. You are fully supported now. Your feet are roots like a tree. With every breath, you draw in strength and determination to manifest your best self. As you make space for the possibilities of the future, leaving moments from the past that do not serve you behind. You gently begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Take a few deep breaths and begin to wiggle your fingers. Begin to wiggle your toes. And slowly bat your eyelashes, opening your eyes. Namaste.
Thank you.
How was that for everybody? They need a minute to come back into their bodies. I see we have Monica and Janine on here. Is there anyone else? Looks like Jenna's on here. So I'm going to pull a card for Monica. Ooh, purple again, girl. No, you weren't purple. You were magenta and blue. That's right. But hey, that makes purple, doesn't it? Okay, so this says 6th chakra. So that is crown, right? Is that crown? No, third eye.
That's third eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The energy of the third eye chakra supports our inner sight and intuitive abilities. That's a beautiful card. So maybe that's going to be like your favorite chakra to work with. Are you getting any messages off of that, Elizabeth?
I'm getting the message that you are already very intuitive. So it's telling you to work with your 6th chakra a little bit more probably. And that's going to open up a lot probably more for you. And since purple is your favorite color, purple is my favorite color as well. I feel like, yeah, it's you see, since you already have that favorite color, it's like, that's already telling you that you have a connection to it. So there's a reason why we have favorites and why we have, you know, things that we prefer a little bit more. So just the message that I'm getting is, that you already have this, probably have very intuitive qualities, and just working with that 6th chakra is probably going to help you discern a little bit more and see a little bit more than you are now, and it's going to open up some more things for you.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And like, even for me, the 6th chakra I found was very, it took me a while to work with the 6th chakra to actually open my third eye. Like, I think it took me probably 2 years to open up my third eye. Now, I could actually feel it. I physically felt it. It was almost like I was listening to tone 432 for a really long time, and that's kind of all chakras, 432. So I actually physically felt it. So it would be like almost right here, my forehead would go almost like numb, and you would feel like it was tensing like that, and then it would release. So it was a very big, like, for me, it was a very, like, I could actually physically feel it. Now, that's not saying that you will physically feel it or anything, but I've actually physically felt some symptoms of it opening. So something to maybe watch out for. Yeah, it was kind of very strange when I first did it. I kind of got freaked out, and I was like, oh my God, what was that? And And then it happened again, and then it started happening when I wasn't in meditation. So I kind of kept thinking like, okay, like, is this like, you know, am I gonna have like a brain aneurysm or something? Like, you know, you kind of go to that, like, what is that, like a medical thing or whatever? And I did quite a bit of like research on it, and that's what I usually, I'm like a research guru. I like to learn. And a lot of people had that same experience with their third eye opening. So that kind of calmed me down a little bit. But yeah, at first it was shocking, and it kind of it kept kind of kicking me out every time it would happen. I would get the shock, like, oh, and that's kind of the fear coming in too. As soon as I got that, and then it would shut down, and then I would close down, you know, and then I wouldn't be able to act, like, kind of, you know, replicate the feeling again. But after a while that goes away once it's open, you know. It's almost like it's because our pineal gland is calcified. So that's from fluoride, from, you know, from other things like we eat, we drink. So it's actually, it's been calcified. And when we start working with that and we're doing that, we're shaking it up and we're vibrating and we're releasing that calcification. And sometimes it can be a physical symptom, as like it's actually, you can feel it releasing. So
yeah, which brings up a whole nother topic about what kind of water, you know, you're putting in your body. But that's a whole other thing.
We'll stay when we get to the sixth chakra. That's something we'll talk about. But yeah, we can talk about that stuff for a long time.
So I have a card for Janine. I got number 22, friendship. So that's interesting. So this says, the energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affection and appreciation. So Elizabeth, I don't know if you're picking up anything from that you want to add.
Well, I think that's so 22 is like a master number. So I think this is really, it's really pointing to like a message for you. And what I'm getting with, so the sacral is about our relationships, and like we talked about, it can affect our relationships to one another, you know, our bonds and stuff like that. So I think that for this one, it's kind of, I don't know if you already have kind of found your people. I know sometimes when we come on this spiritual path, you know, some of our old friends that we might have been friends with before, they kind of start to fall away, and we kind of call in our you know, our soul family. So I'm thinking that it's kind of like getting you to, it's kind of almost like either you're starting to bring in your soul family, or you're being called to kind of bring in your soul family and maybe get out there a little bit more. But that's just kind of what I'm getting intuitively. But yeah, our friendships are very important. You know, having friends, and it's very lonely sometimes, this path, especially, and that serves a purpose as well, you know, teaching us to be alone and happy alone, teaches us that, you know, we can be happy with other people as well. So I think it's very important to be able to have those people that, you know, we can have these conversations with, and that we can, you know, connect with on a different level than we were connecting before. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I was just picking up, that maybe you're calling in some of your soul family, or you will be.
Yeah, Janine, let us know if that resonates for you. And then I pulled a card for Jenna, and I'm looking at the image, and I believe I did a visual channeling drawing for Janine with a very similar image. So I'm going to see if I can find that, and I'll share it with her. I don't know if she wants me to share her drawing, but so this came out for Jenna, and it very well could be that any of these cards resonate with any of you women, right? Or, you know, because then I was just thinking maybe this is also for Janine, and this is for Jenna, you know, and then this is for that, you know, right? So whatever resonates with you.
Yeah.
So Jenna, I got number 11 in awareness, and I remember these little like feet kind of things in Janine's drawing, so that's what I was thinking about for that. So this says, the energy of awareness supports our capacity to focus our attention on all aspects of multidimensional world so that we can create a reality that we truly choose. And I believe Jen is one of your friends, so you probably are more in tune, you know, with
Jen
the.
is my sister.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome! You met her. Hi,
So,
sister.
and I think we talk about this actually quite a bit. So yeah, with I always trying to having awareness is a key, and it's such a great gift to have, because like when we're not aware, we're not paying attention to those signs, we're not paying attention to those synchronicities, you know. So it's having that awareness, you know, we can actually start connecting dots and saying, why does this, you know, this one picture, you know, why does this picture of a dog, or like, why does this keep popping up, and why does this word keep coming around? So I find that having the awareness is actually messages. You're getting messages, but just be aware of those messages that you're getting, and those are going to help you kind of connect the dots to any particular situations that you're having, or you're going to have that, you know, start on that awakening path, and you're going to start becoming aware of all of these things that are around you, multidimensional, like you know, the chakras and the galaxies and everything like that. So that's just because I know my sister personally, so
Yeah.
it's something that we talk about, is just like, yeah, having that awareness. And I find, and maybe just because we're related, I'm always on the lookout. I have like a hyper awareness where everything to me is everything is usually a sign, or it's, you know, something that I need to look for. So and just having that awareness and saying, oh, well, I saw that yesterday, or I heard that word yesterday, and I have never heard that word in my life. Why does that keep popping up? You know, and that's kind of like those messages that are coming to you. So I'm assuming, being related, that we probably both have a set of skills and abilities that your guides are telling you. Be aware of these, and you know, pay attention to these things.
Yeah, really good points. No, these were very good cards, I think, that came up for everyone, and I really like, this makes me think of like light language too.
Yeah, that's the Hunab Ku.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's the it's like the galactic center. So that makes a lot of sense, since I resonate a lot with starseed. So my sister, you know, maybe that's something that in the future that she'll start resonating with, or something like that. So yeah, just be aware.
Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Yeah, that's all I have, unless you have anything else that you want to add, Elizabeth, or if you feel called to pull, you know, cards on your side, additional cards, or you feel comfortable, you know, with ending it here.
Well, you know what? If everybody wants to have some fun, let's
Because
pull
we
some
love our
cards.
cards.
Cards are fun. Yeah, I love cards. I like
Yeah.
pulling cards. I've started my own YouTube channel, and I do kind of collective updates. And I just started not that long ago.
I look forward to that every weekend, you know.
I had a really hard time, like I said before, like my throat chakra, you know, looking silly, looking stupid. Those were all some fears that I had to get over before I started. So I am still just starting, and it's getting better as I go. I can already see in my videos, and I said that at the first video. I said, this is going to get a little more coherent as we go. I already know that, but so I don't. I haven't really pulled cards for only like friends and family, so
okay.
I'm going to see what pops up. So, who do we have on? Monica, you said was
on? It's funny because it keeps changing, but it looks like, yeah, Monica, Janine, and Jenna are on.
Okay. So these ones I'm just going to pull from. These are the Gaia Oracle cards, so they're kind of a little bit more relatable to kind of the earth energies and stuff that we're working with. So hopefully, and I intend that you'll receive a message that, you know, can give you clarity, or, you know, next steps forward. So what is coming up for Monica? Let's see here. So it looks like we have number 29, and it says thinking of you. And it's saying a loving thought or serendipity. So you might have some, synchronicities that are coming through for you. Maybe someone will call you and say, hey, I was thinking of you. Or maybe, that's something that happens to you in these coming days where, or you start thinking of someone else and then that serendipity happens where, hey, I was just thinking of you, and you see them at the grocery store or something. So that's probably going to be a very big connection. So just be on the lookout for that. So if you're thinking of a particular person or you're thinking of something and it's all of a sudden just pops up and you're like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I was just thinking of that. I would say that that's probably a big message for you. So, and then you got the sunlight. So, this could be going out in the sun, taking in those light codes. The sun is our energy giver. It's our life giver. So it looks like, that could be something that comes up for you as kind of that serendipity, that synchronistic moments where, you're thinking of a particular person or you're thinking of doing a particular project or an idea, and someone calls you out of the blue and says, hey, we should do this together or something. So I would be on the lookout for that. So that's actually really nice. And you got the sun energy here. So it looks like it's all golden opportunity, maybe. Oh, you have your birthday in the summer. Yes. So maybe this is a golden opportunity. For some reason that came to me, for some reason. I don't know why. So with the sun here, so I'm thinking
and it's 29.
Yeah. Oh, the 29th is your birthday. Oh,
look
that
at
is
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Double magic.
Yeah. So that's very cool. Awesome. So just be on the lookout for that. So let us know if anything pops up.
Awesome. Very cool.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe Janine next.
Janine, yeah,
and then it looks like we have an additional MJ joined us, so that's good. Hi, MJ.
Okay. So Janine, and I asked
good
her a
timing,
message.
MJ. We're pulling cards here at the end.
And I asked that this give her clarity or path forward on her path. So Janine, what's coming up for Janine? So it looks like you have rising above. So we've got clarity, freedom, and solution. So it looks like, so the dove, I always find the dove is about like liberation. The dove too is also a message or a messenger. I usually associate them with. And same with divinity. So I don't know, you might be connected with angels or you might be getting a message. But I find here that if you're going through a difficult time, this could be something that you're starting to rise above now. Or, you could be coming into a solution if you're having any kind of problems or anything. It looks like you are going to get a solution to any of your troubles that you're having, and you're going to rise above, anything that's turmoil or troubling you. So, yeah, I don't know if that resonated, but it looks like, and this card is 11. So this is, a master card too. So 11, one is usually like new beginnings. That's what I associate them with anyway. You always are gonna, so with the numbers is you assign the meaning to the number. It's not necessarily like that's what it means, but, one is usually, you're starting, it's the new beginning. So I'm just thinking that, if there's anything that's coming on that's troubling you, to be rising above that, and it's going to maybe bring a new beginning to something.
Awesome. Good message.
So yeah, that's what I got. Yeah. So let us know if those resonated, and I'll pull one for MJ, who just joined.
Did Jenna jump off? We got Jenna too after that.
Okay. MJ, what does MJ need to know?
I have lunch with MJ in about an hour, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And it's 11:11. I just saw that on the clock. So.
She is an angel.
So we got 33. So we got lots of master numbers coming out here. Healing. So it looks like you're doing a lot of maybe heart healing.
Yeah.
This is a very beautiful card. So reconnecting with your true nature. So it looks like, yeah, we've got some healing. We're out in nature. It's definitely the divine feminine. You know, 3 is kind of like the master number. It's mind, body, soul connection. So that's your true nature. We're connecting back to our true mind, body, soul. So it looks like, you know, your heart is kind of going to be, it's going to open up. It's going to, you know, it looks like it's shining bright now. So it looks like you're going maybe through a healing period, or you're going to maybe receive some healing that's really going to be beneficial for your heart. So let me know if that resonated. And I'll pull one for Jenna. Oh, I asked my guides. That's her message for Jenna. So we got, for this one here, we have number 20, and it looks like loss. But this isn't it doesn't have to be a physical loss. So it looks like there's maybe a little bit of sadness, but there's also a resurrection. So right now, maybe you're coming into a rebirth. So maybe what's happening is that things maybe seem like they could be, you know, a little bit off. They could be like maybe falling apart a little bit. And it could be that you're coming into a new person, a new beginning. So you're coming into a rebirth, which even being at this, you know, at these meetings, you're kind of getting and gaining more insight, and you're getting more curious about things, right? So it could be that, you know, an old way of life is leaving and a new way of life is coming in. And I know, and I know,
confirmation.
Yeah, that's and I know that she's actually in the process of transitioning a move. So it could be resurfacing some feelings of loss too. So even when we move and it's exciting and it's new and it's, you know, it could be saying, well, we're leaving our old lives behind, and that can feel like a loss to us at some point. So it's looking like there is, we've kind of got the full moon here too, and the full moon is about like releasing. And don't we have a blood moon in March?
Is it March?
Isn't there a super rare blood moon or something?
There's an eclipse. There's a lunar.
Eclipse?
Yeah.
I thought there was I thought I seen a blood moon or something, but I have to look that up. But it's looking like, yeah, it could be something that you're leaving behind, which you might feel like it's a loss at the time, but it's actually bringing you back in, and it's bringing in something else, something greater, and you're resurrecting, you're being, you know, rejuvenated back again into a new way of being. So I don't know, hopefully that resonates, and it could bring some grief, it could bring a little bit of sadness, but like we said, it's with the sacral work as well. It's emotional work. So maybe it's being called to your roots too, to really work on any fears that you have about, you know, leaving, or if there's anything that, you know, you're scared of. It's kind of making you look at that and just releasing that fear. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Makes sense. And I hope that resonated with everybody, and gave you some messages if, you know, ones that you needed. So
I have a card for you, my dear.
Oh,
yeah.
I can pull one for you too.
if you want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful, because I feel like this is you, you know, coming into your authentic self.
Aww.
You know, look
I
at
love that.
joy number 28, and it says, the energy of joy activates our feelings of happiness and well-being and supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. And you're vibrating, baby. So yeah, I love it.
I love that. And we're talking about the sacral too, and the sacral is all about joy, passion. You know, it's all about, so that's one thing I'm going to be working on this week too, is my sacral. So I'm going to go through the week again. I'm going to post the answers to, I'm going to post the answers to my journal prompt on today, and we're going to go through that, and then I'm going to start working on the sacral. So I'm sure that a lot of stuff's going to come up there, because like I said, it's probably the one I like working with the least, but it's probably the one that I need the most, right? So, and I'm going to pull one for you. Now, let's see, what do we got for Amanda? What do our guides need her to know?
Yeah, Janine said that that message definitely resonated with her. So
Aw,
that's good.
thank you for that confirmation. I always like to, we always sit there and we say that, we shouldn't need the confirmations and, but I like the confirmations because that just gives me the more power to be like, okay, yeah, I am on the right track with this. So.
Yeah.
Ooh, and this one is totally you. Number 1,
Oh.
Tree of Life. So look at, we have the Ankh here. So you've got that Isis energy going on. So it's fertility, creativity, destiny, and magical blessings. And I know you're super creative. You got, your artwork. You're always coming up with these new things that are just so amazing. So it looks like, and it's got the infinity sign, number 8. We've got, the yin yang, the balance. So we have the nature, the tree of life. So I think that one really kind of connects with you because, you already have all that creativity, and it looks like you're just kind of bringing in all these blessings, which is creating this magic here.
Yeah.
So, and it's like there's so many things that are connected. So we have like the heart, which you talked about is your heart chakra. And then we've got the stars because you kind of resonate too with the starseed path. We've got like the ancient Egyptian stuff, which you also resonate with. The yin yang, having that balance, that masculine, feminine energy. So I feel like, this kind of is representing you, and then you're just growing beautifully.
Wow. What a card.
Yes, perfect. Number 1 too. It looks like
I don't need anything else today. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we went a little over today, but last week I had a time crunch, so we wanted to just kind of let it flow today. So definitely give us some feedback, and if you guys feel like this was too long or if it was perfect, if you like the cards, like what are you liking, and what would you want different or changed? Yeah. So we'll be back next Sunday with solar plexus.
Yes, yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks everybody for joining. It was awesome. I had a lot of fun, and this is kind of what this is all about, is just even being able to come in and just shoot the shit and talk and pick up some information on the way is always really fun. So thank everyone for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.